Now make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to click on the description and sign up for the email list. You know, there are videos that we try and post on YouTube that for whatever reason, they don't post them. You don't want to miss them. So click the description and sign up for our email list. Biden and China. Biden has long had a great deal of affection for China. Watch this.
China is not our enemy.
I believe then, and I'm even more convinced now, that a rising China is an incredibly positive development for not only China, but the United States and the rest of the world. It is in our self-interest that China continue to prosper. China is a great nation, and we should hope for the continued expansion. We want to see China rise. A rising China can be a significant asset for the region and the world. China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They're not bad folks. But guess what? They're not competition for us. China's not our problem. We can help them with some of their problems. China's not a problem. The idea that China is going to eat our lunch is bizarre. And so, what are we worried about? We talk about China as our competitor. We should be helping.
Do you think, in retrospect, that you were naive about China?
No. What a beautiful history we wrote together.
I'm reminded of what Robert Gates was the outgoing Secretary of Defense, and Obama retained him. I'm reminded of what he said about Joe Biden and Joe Biden's foreign policy judgment.
You wrote Joe Biden was a man of integrity. Still, I think he's been wrong on nearly every major foreign policy and national security issue over the past 4 decades.
I think he's gotten a lot wrong.
You're talking all through the years as vice president.
He opposed every one of Ronald Reagan's military programs to contest the Soviet Union. He opposed the first Gulf War. That list goes on.
And now he believes that China is not really a problem. He has been wrong on every major foreign policy decision in the past 40 years. And I will remind you that when Joe Biden was a young senator, he joined, along with others, to turn their back on the deal that Richard Nixon and Henry Kissinger negotiated in leaving Vietnam, that if the North reinvaded, we'd resupply them and give them tactical support. And we abandoned them. And Joe Biden was right in that group of people. And then, of course, there's the Afghanistan disaster that very likely gave Putin the encouragement to invade Ukraine. And then what did Biden then do? Referred to the inflation as a Putin tax. Even if you were to blame all the inflation on Putin, who was it whose foreign policy decision encouraged Putin to invade Ukraine? That would be Biden. Now, I've said before that the police are not systemically racist. Are there bad cops? Of course. Are there bad doctors? Yes. Bad lawyers? Yes. Bad talk show hosts, present company excluded? Yes. But when there are bad cops, they should be dealt with on a case-by-case basis. And I've said many times, the police kill more unarmed whites than they kill unarmed blacks, and the police kill more whites than they kill blacks. In the last several years, the police have killed an average of 1,000 people. 500 of them have been white, 250 of them have been black. And you might say, well, that's still a substantial percentage when you consider that blacks are only 13% of the population. But it's about rates of offending. A young black male is 8 times more likely to be murdered than a young white male. Based on those numbers, you could argue that the instances in which the police use force, including deadly force against a black person, would be even higher, considering the much, much higher homicide rate within the black community. Now, this is a video of Arkansas officers, 3 of them, they all appear to be white, beating a suspect who appears to be white. As you can see, suspect is being punched. One is kneeing one, while the other one is holding this person down. Another punch, another punch. This is in Mulberry, Arkansas. And the deputies involved are Levi White, Zach King, and Theo Riddle. And they're on top of the suspect. His name is Worcester. And the lawyer for two of the cops said the sheriff's department has a lot more video that's not yet been released. It says Deputy White was responding to a person matching the description of the suspect, and that suspect threatened to cut a woman's face off with a knife. According to the statement, while checking this man's false identity, the suspect became irate and viciously attacked Deputy White by grabbing him by the legs, lifting him up, and body slamming him headfirst on the concrete parking lot. The lawyer says that the deputy struck his head on the concrete, and the suspect then got on top of another deputy and began striking him in the back of the head and face. Deputy was incapacitated momentarily, but remembers getting repeatedly hit in the head and then seeing the suspect fight with two other officers. The lawyer's statement goes as follows: such a violent suspect cannot be allowed to remain unrestrained, and all necessary force is authorized to arrest this type of violent suspect. The amount of force authorized under the law is always relative to the offense the suspect commits. End of quote. The deputy suffered a concussion as a result of the attack, according to his lawyer, circular swelling and bruising above his right eye, and is currently suffering from concussion symptoms. The three law enforcement officers have been taken off duty, and the sheriff's office confirmed that two of the deputies had been suspended, and there is an investigation into their conduct. Meanwhile, the Southern States Police Benevolent Association, the union, supports the deputies. The point again here is, if this had been a black suspect, we know the officers' names. They would be discussed endlessly. CNN would be there. MSNBC would be there. Van Jones would be there. Don Lemon would be there. Black Lives Matter would be there. But since all the parties involved are white, got 10 million views on YouTube, but I bet you didn't see very much about it on your nightly news, did you? Why? Because the suspect was white. And never mind, twice as many whites are killed as blacks by the police. Never mind, twice as many unarmed whites are killed by blacks. If it's a white person, he's just a dead fly. And one more time, we talked about this yesterday. According to policemag.com, in 2019, those who self-describe as very liberal were asked, how many unarmed black men did the police kill in 2019? Half of the self-described very liberal people thought the police killed 1,000 unarmed black men in 2019. 8% thought the police killed 10,000. What you ask about just regular self-described liberal people? Well, 39% of self-described liberals thought the police killed 1,000 unarmed black men in 2019, and 5% thought the police killed 10,000 unarmed black men in 2019. The number, according to the Washington Post database at the time the poll was taken, 12. I repeat, 12. Such is the gap between what liberals and very liberal people think the cops are doing versus what the cops, in fact, have done. But first, do you, like I do, bring your MyPillow to work? Never know when you might need to take a snooze. Never know when the power might go out, and therefore, out here in California, we have these rolling brownouts because of the energy problems. So you never know when you might have to be able to take a snooze. That's why I bring my MyPillow to work, and you should too. See the number on your screen. Call it. Or go to MyPillow.com. Be sure and use promo code ELDER. And by the way, don't think all they have are pillows. Au contraire, mon frère. They have over 100 products. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code ELDER, and check them out. They've got sheets. Yes, Giza Dream bed sheets. I kid you not. In various colors. They got towels. Oh yes, various colors. Soft yet absorbent. They actually work. So many of our towels look great, feel great in the stores. You get them, and they don't do what they're supposed to do, i.e. absorb. These absorb. And did I mention the MyPillow, My Slippers? I have a pair on. I don't have them on right now, but if I take a snooze at work, I'll probably put those on. But I don't take snoozes at work because someone might be watching. MyPillow.com, promo code ELDER. Hit the number on your screen. Did I mention MyPillow.com, promo code ELDER? We'll be right back. Now, CNN, as you know, they've gotten rid of Jeffrey Toobin, who famously took out his Toobin during a Zoom call and got fired from the New Yorker where he worked. CNN gave him a paid vacation and put him back on the air. He is their legal analyst. And Brian Stelter, their media critic, has also been shown the door. The new CEO of CNN, replacing Jeff Zucker, is apparently committed to repositioning CNN as down the middle, fair and balanced. Carl Bernstein of the famous Woodward and Bernstein team congratulated Jeff Zucker and accused him, the CEO of CNN then, of engaging in good journalism.
And I think both Jeff Zucker and David Zaslav have been committed through their careers to understanding what good journalism is. You know, when Zaslav came over to Warner, he was asked in that interview with Oprah, what's your favorite movie at Warner Brothers? And he said, All the President's Men. What is All the President's Men? It's a movie about all the things that we're talking about, how you go about getting the best.
It's also a movie that celebrates Carl Bernstein as a star, just so you know.
Obtainable version of the truth. I think Jeff Zucker was committed to that. It's basic. It's what we do.
Jeff Zucker was committed to good journalism. It's basic. It's what we do. That Jeff Zucker, he was a man for all seasons. He was a man for what was right, for what was just, and the American way. Project Veritas has this CNN employee talking about Jeff Zucker's personal vendetta against Donald Trump.
Jeff Zucker, basically president of CNN, has a personal vendetta against Trump. It's not going to be positive for Trump. He hates him. He's going to be negative.
He hates Trump. He has a personal vendetta against Trump. But, according to Carl Bernstein, Jeff Zucker is committed to good journalism. Can we hear that again?
And I think both Jeff Zucker and David Zaslav have been committed through their careers to understanding what good journalism is. You know, when Zaslav came over to Warner, he was asked in that interview with Oprah, what's your favorite movie at Warner Brothers? And he said, All the President's Men. What is All the President's Men? It's a movie about all the things that we're talking about, how you go about getting the best obtainable version of the truth. I think Jeff Zucker was committed to that.
Good thing the guy didn't say my favorite movie is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, student debt. A top Obama economist has warned against student debt cancellation and says it's going to be inflationary. Jason Furman, Harvard professor, former chair of Obama's Council of Economic Advisors, said forgiving student debt, quote, benefits recent college grads and hurts almost everybody else, both rich and poor, end of quote. I have said that most of those who have incurred high student debt are white, middle, and upper class people. Many of them have used the student debt to finance their degrees in areas, masters, PhDs, for jobs that don't require a master's or PhDs. Most Americans have not gone to college. Most people of color have not gone to college. Most poor people have not gone to college. But guess who will be footing the bill for the debt forgiveness for those who did? I call this reparations for white people. Here's what Furman wrote on Twitter, and I'm quoting. Student loan relief is not free. It would be paid for. Part of it would be paid for by the 87% of Americans who do not benefit but lose out from inflation. Part of it would be paid for by future spending cuts and tax increases with uncertainty about who will bear those costs. Student loan relief will also lead some people to spend more. We can't make more so others would consume less. The way that happens is inflation, budget constraint. If you add hundreds of billions of dollars to the deficit, eventually taxes will rise or spending will be cut. Or some tax cut or spending increases that could have happened won't. Either way, a cost. A full evaluation of student loan relief would take this into account. You still might like it. It benefits recent grads and hurts almost everyone else, both rich and poor. But do not assume it is free money. It is not, he says. Hope you enjoyed that video. The full show is available to watch right now on Epoch TV. Just click the link in the description below to learn more, because we've got a country to save.